Two men, standing completely still, facing each other, not resting, not waiting for a signal. They made an agreement. You hit me once. I won't move. Then I hit you once, and you won't move. Whoever is still standing after wins. This wasn't desperation. This wasn't two men who ran out of options. This was a strategy called climax, the ladder. And the Greeks who practiced it didn't invent it. They inherited it from something 3,000 years older. Something that didn't start in a stadium, didn't start with glory or olive crowns or marble statues. It started in a drought, in a courtyard, in a civilization so afraid of its own sky that it decided the only language the gods understood was watching a man refuse to fall. Mesopotamia, 3000 BCE. The Sumerians, first civilization to build cities, first to write laws, first to look at the chaos of the natural world, and decide something up there was causing it. Their gods weren't distant. They weren't symbolic. They were present the way weather is present. Everywhere. Indifferent, and capable of killing you without meaning to. The Sumerian creation texts are blunt about it. The gods built humans because they were tired of their own labor, tired of digging canals and growing grain. So they made something disposable that could do it instead. The arrangement had one rule: serve, offer, don't complain. And in return, the sky stays quiet. But Mesopotamia never stays quiet. Flash floods that erase cities in a single night. Droughts that hollow out entire generations. Disease moving through populations like a rumor, touching everyone, leaving nothing behind. And every time it happened, the Sumerians asked the same question. Not why. They knew why. What do we give it? What does it want this time? What have we not yet offered that would make it stop? That question is where boxing was born. Kafaja, ancient Sumer. An archaeologist cleaning a stone tablet stops. Two men carved into the surface, facing each other, hands raised, fists wrapped so tight in leather. You can see the pressure in the stone. 5,000 years later, the oldest image of boxing ever found. And it wasn't discovered in a stadium, not near a road or a marketplace or any public space. It came out of a temple. That detail got noted, filed away, and then quietly ignored for a century, because it changes everything. If that tablet came from a stadium, boxing starts as sport, as competition, as men testing themselves against each other for glory. But it didn't come from a stadium. It came from a house of worship, which means the first fighters in recorded human history weren't athletes. They were a prayer. The logic was merciless in how clean it was. Gods respond to proof, not words. Words cost nothing. Words are what you say when you have nothing real to give. But a man, standing in a sacred space, taking damage, real damage, and staying. That is proof. That says something words can't. We are serious. We are not performing. Look at what we are willing to endure. Now look at our city and decide if we deserve what's happening to it. Every blow landed was a sentence in the only language. They believed the sky actually spoke. There is a fresco on the island of Crete, 1500 BCE. Two boys, 10 years old, maybe younger, hands wrapped, standing across from each other. Ready. I've looked at this image a long time, and the thing that won't leave me isn't the wrapping, isn't how young they are. It's their faces. They aren't scared. They aren't performing for anyone watching. They look like people doing something they understand completely and have already accepted. Something was explained to them before they were old enough to argue with it. And they took it in and became it. This fresco does not appear near a field or a training ground. It lives in a ceremonial space. These boys weren't learning a sport. They were being initiated into a practice, older than their island, older than anyone who taught them could trace. Someone handed it down, and they received it, and wrapped their hands, and faced each other, with the expressions of people doing something necessary. Greece took boxing and made it beautiful. 688 BCE, the Olympics. They gave it philosophy, called it arete, the complete expression of human excellence. Built stadiums, commissioned odes, carved winners into marble, and it almost worked, almost made you forget what it originally was. But then, buried in the historical record, almost casual in how it's described, is climax. Two fighters, exhausted, making an agreement. Stand still. Let me hit you once, everything I have. Don't move. Then I'll stand still. And you do the same. Whoever remains, wins. No dancing, no defense. Just, here I am. Do your worst. I'm not moving. The Greeks called it a strategy, a calculated risk. But it isn't strategy. It's theology. It's the same thing the men in the Sumerian courtyard were doing, 5,000 years earlier. Standing in a sacred space, offering their body as proof of something, saying, without words, look at what I can absorb and still remain. The marble and the philosophy were Greek. The thing underneath never changed. There's a moment in boxing. You've seen it even if you don't watch boxing, where a fighter gets hurt, really hurt. And the crowd, which was loud, goes silent instantly, completely. And in that silence, something passes through every person watching. That isn't bloodlust, isn't excitement, isn't even empathy exactly. It's something older than any of those words. It's the feeling of watching someone stand at the edge of collapse and choose, in real time, not to go over.
That feeling
is why boxing was invented. Not the competition, not the skill, not the spectacle. That feeling. The Sumerians discovered it by accident, in a courtyard, during a drought that was killing their children. They discovered that watching a man refuse to fall did something to the fear inside the people watching. Quieted it, not permanently. Just enough. Just enough to make it through the night. The gods may be gone. The droughts mean something different now, or nothing at all. But the bell still rings. The crowd still goes silent in that specific way. And whatever it is that moves through a room, when a man decides to stand still and let it come, and doesn't go down, that thing is 5,000 years old. It was never about winning. It was about proof. Proof that something in us is harder than whatever the world throws at it. We've been trying to show that to the sky. Since before we had words for the sky, we never stopped. We just forgot. We were still doing it.